The morning sun shimmered across the turquoise waters surrounding the kingdom of Enchantia. From the balcony of the castle, Princess Sofia leaned over the railing, gazing out at the sparkling sea that stretched as far as her eyes could see. A soft breeze carried the scent of salt and the distant cry of seagulls. Today was supposed to be an ordinary day. Lessons, tea with Amber, and maybe a visit to the royal gardens. But something about the ocean felt different. The waves seemed to hum, a low, beautiful tune that brushed against Sofia's heart like a whisper. Sofia tilted her head. "Did you hear that?" she asked Clover, who was nibbling a carrot beside her. The bunny twitched his ears. "Hear what?" "All I hear is the sound of breakfast getting cold." Sofia smiled, but the melody didn't stop. It grew clearer, a song that seemed to rise from the depths below, soft, sad, and filled with longing. Her amulet of Avalor glowed faintly against her chest. "Oh," she gasped, "it's calling me." Before Clover could protest, Sofia hurried down the steps and toward the beach. The water was cool against her feet as she stepped into the gentle waves. The song grew stronger and the amulet shone brighter until, in a flash of warm light, Sofia felt herself changing. Her legs shimmered, and in their place appeared a sparkling lavender mermaid tail. "Whoa!" she breathed, flipping it gently. "I'm a mermaid again." With a quick dive, she disappeared beneath the waves, her hair floating around her like a crown. The underwater world was breathtaking. Coral reefs glowing like rainbows, schools of silver fish darting in perfect rhythm, and sunlight rippling across the ocean floor. But as Sofia swam deeper, the melody became clearer and sadder. She followed the sound until she reached a quiet cove framed by glowing seaweed. There, among the coral, she saw a young mermaid tangled in net. Her turquoise tail shimmered weakly, and her golden hair floated like strands of sunlight. Sofia gasped and swam closer. "Oh no, are you all right?" The mermaid turned her head, her eyes wide with relief. "Please help me. I got caught while trying to rescue a sea turtle." Sofia reached the net, tugging at the knots, but it was too tight. "Hold on, I'll get you out." She looked around and spotted a sharp shell wedged in the coral. Using it carefully, she cut through the net until the mermaid was free. "Thank you," the girl said, rubbing her fins. "I'm Una." Sofia smiled warmly. "I'm Sofia, and I think I heard you singing." Una's cheeks turned pink. "I was trying to call for help. I didn't think anyone would hear, except maybe the dolphins." Sofia grinned. "Well, your song reached me all the way to the castle." Before Una could reply, a deep rumble echoed through the water. The coral trembled, and a cloud of sand rose from the ocean floor. From the shadows beyond the reef, a huge, dark shape began to move, slow and heavy. Una's eyes widened. "The current's changing, something's coming." Sofia grabbed her hand. "Swim." They darted through the coral tunnels as the rumbling grew louder. When they finally reached the open sea, a massive shadow passed overhead, a fishing ship dragging another giant net through the water. Sofia's eyes filled with worry. "They're trapping everything." Una looked at her sadly. "That's what's been happening all week. The sea creatures are in danger. We tried to stop it, but..." Her voice trailed off, her expression dim. Sofia placed a hand on her shoulder. "Then we'll stop it together." The mermaid looked up, hope returning to her eyes. "You mean it?" Sofia smiled. "Of course. That's what friends do." Far above them, the waves rolled gently, and the morning sun glinted on the surface like a promise, one that Sofia would keep, no matter how deep the ocean mystery went. Sofia and Una swam through the clear blue water, their tails shimmering like sunlight on glass. Behind them, the fishing ship drifted across the surface, its heavy net dragging through the waves. The sound of it scraping against coral echoed faintly, like a sigh of the sea. "We have to tell someone," Sofia said, worry in her eyes. Una nodded. "We'll go to my home, the Coral Palace. Queen Emmeline will know what to do." They swam together through forests of glowing seaweed and across wide plains of white sand, where schools of rainbow fish swirled in patterns that sparkled like jewels. It was a world Sofia had missed deeply, the rhythm of the ocean, the laughter of dolphins, and the warm, soft light that filtered from above. As they reached the Coral Palace, Sophia's eyes widened in awe. It rose from the sea floor like a living sculpture, towers of coral spiraling upward, seashell windows glistening, and pearl gates guarded by graceful seahorses. Two mare guards spotted Una and hurried over. "Princess Una," one said, bowing slightly. "Your mother has been worried." Una smiled gratefully. "Thank you. We found someone who can help." When they entered the throne chamber, the walls shimmered with soft blue light. Queen Emmeline sat upon a throne of white coral, her long hair floating around her like a silken veil. Beside her was her son, Cora, older, confident, and curious, his tail shining like deep sapphire. "Una, my dear!" Queen Emmeline exclaimed, rushing forward. "Where have you been? We feared the fishing nets had caught you." "They almost did," Una said, glancing at Sofia. "But Sofia saved me." Queen Emmeline turned her kind eyes toward the young princess. "Princess Sofia of Enchantia," she said warmly, "we are honored to see you again beneath the waves." Sofia bowed respectfully, her amulet glimmering. "Your Majesty, I'm so happy to see you too. But I came because something is happening. The fishing nets are growing bigger and stronger. They're trapping sea creatures everywhere." Cora crossed his arms, frowning. "We've tried warning the ships, but they don't listen. They take whatever they can, even near our borders." Queen Emmeline's expression grew solemn. "These nets are enchanted, strengthened by magic we do not understand. Even our strongest spells can't cut through them." Sophia's eyes widened. "Magic? You mean someone enchanted them on purpose?" The queen nodded slowly. "Yes, and not for kindness. Someone from the surface must have found an ancient charm, one that binds sea and steel together. If the nets continue, our sea will grow empty and our home will fade." A hush fell across the room. Even the coral seemed to dim. Una looked at Sofia, determination flickering in her eyes. "We have to stop whoever is doing this." "But how?" Before Sofia could answer, her amulet of Avalor began to glow, bright and violet, sending ripples of light across the room. A gentle voice echoed from within it. "When land and sea drift apart, a heart both brave and kind will bridge the waves." Sofia gasped softly. "It's giving us a clue. Maybe the person behind this doesn't realize they're hurting anyone. Maybe we can talk to them, or help them undo the spell." Queen Emmeline nodded thoughtfully. "The amulet's wisdom has always been true. You have my blessing, Sofia. But be careful. Whoever cast this magic may not wish to be found." Cora swam closer, his expression softening. "If you're going, I'll come with you. You'll need someone who knows every current and coral tunnel in these waters." Sofia smiled gratefully. "Thank you, Cora. We'll find the truth together." Una grinned, her tail flicking with excitement. Then it settled. "Let's rescue the sea." As they left the palace, the waters shimmered with new energy, the promise of courage, friendship, and a journey that would test them in ways they'd never imagined. Far in the distance, beneath the shadow of the fishing ship, something dark stirred, watching, waiting. The sea grew darker as Sofia, Una, and Cora swam farther from the coral palace. The glow of the palace towers faded behind them, replaced by deep blue shadows and the faint shimmer of faraway jellyfish. The ocean here was quieter, too quiet. Sophia's amulet glimmered faintly, its purple light casting soft ripples across their faces. "This must be where the nets are coming from," she said softly. "Can you feel that?" Cora nodded. "The current's wrong here. It's pulling toward the canyon, like something's drawing the water in." Una shivered. It's never been like this before. They swam cautiously, the water around them filled with drifting sand and strange hums that echoed from below. As they approached the edge of a dark trench, Sofia saw something glinting far beneath. Thin lines of gold light tangled across the rocks, moving like threads. "The nets," she whispered. But these were no ordinary nets. They pulsed faintly, woven not just of rope but of magic. Strands of enchanted seaweed and glowing silver threads that moved as though alive. Dozens of fish were trapped inside, their fins glimmering sadly as they struggled to escape. Una gasped. "They're enchanted. They catch anything that moves." Sofia's heart ached. "We have to free them." Cora swam closer, inspecting the glowing cords. There's a spell woven through this. Look, the runes on the knots. Whoever made these used sea charms mixed with land magic. Land magic? Sophia asked, surprised. Then maybe it's someone from Enchantia. Cora nodded grimly. Possibly, but not all magic users mean harm. Sophia touched one of the glowing runes gently, and her amulet pulsed again. A faint echo whispered through her mind, the same sad tune she'd heard that morning from ashore. The one who cast this spell is lonely, she murmured softly. I can feel it. Suddenly, the nets twitched. The glowing threads brightened, and a current of force shot through the water. Sophia and her friends were thrown backward by a wave of magic that rippled through the sea. Una caught Sophia's arm. What was that? Before Sophia could answer, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was a young sorcerer, maybe a few years older than Sophia, wearing a coral blue cloak that shimmered like scales. His eyes glowed faintly, and his hands were wrapped in glowing seaweed charms. Who are you? Sophia asked, steadying herself. The boy frowned. You shouldn't be here. The sea needs protection, and I'm the only one who can give it that. Una blinked. Protection? You're trapping the sea creatures. He shook his head, frustration flickering in his gaze. You don't understand. The ships from above keep taking fish, coral, everything. I made these nets to keep them safe, to keep the surface away. Sophia's heart softened. You're trying to protect them, but you've gone too far. The magic is hurting the ocean, not helping it. The boy hesitated. I didn't mean to. I just wanted peace. Every time I tried to talk to the surface people, they ignored me. So I found a spell book, one that said I could control the sea. Cora's eyes narrowed slightly. Where did you find the spell book? In an old wreck near the reef, the boy replied. It belonged to a sea wizard. I thought I could use it for good. Sophia swam closer, her amulet glowing softly. You still can. Magic isn't about power. It's about care. If we work together, we can fix this. Before he could respond, a low rumble shook the water again. One of the enchanted nets ripped apart, sending a burst of wild energy surging through the trench. The boy shouted, clutching his chest. The spell's unstable. It's feeding on itself. Sophia reached for his hand. Then help us stop it. The glowing line began to twist and pull toward the canyon's heart, where a swirling vortex of light appeared. The ocean trembled around them as the dark magic started to grow. Cora shouted, We have to get out of here. But Sophia held firm, her amulet shining brighter than ever. No, this is our chance. We can end it together. The boy hesitated, then nodded. All right, my name's Kai. Let's save the sea. And as they joined hands, the glow from Sophia's amulet and the runes on Kai's bracelets merged, light and shadow intertwining. As the rescue of the ocean truly began, the sea trembled with light. Sophia, Una, Cora, and Kai watched as the enchanted nets unraveled, their glowing threads twisting and vanishing into the depths. But instead of fading quietly, the broken magic began to rise, forming spirals of light that raced toward the surface. Sophia's amulet pulsed against her chest, warm and urgent. It's not stopping, she whispered. The magic's moving upward. Kai's eyes widened. It's escaping the sea. It's heading for the surface world. The force swam quickly toward the shallows, the water growing brighter as sunlight mixed with wild currents of gold and blue. The ocean churned. Waves began to twist unnaturally, rolling over each other as the magic broke through to the air above. When they reached the surface, Sophia gasped. The calm ocean had turned fierce. Dark clouds spiraled overhead, lightning flickering between them like glowing threads, the same enchanted pattern as the nets below. Una's eyes widened. It's turning into a storm. Kai's voice was grim. The spellbook warned me this might happen if the nets broke without a release charm. The magic's searching for balance, but it's feeding off the ocean's energy instead. Sophia frowned thoughtfully. Then we have to find a way to calm it, before it spreads across all of Enchantia. Just then, a bolt of light struck the water, sending a shock wave that tossed them backward. Una's tail shimmered as she spun through the current. Sophia swam fast and grabbed her fin before the waves could pull her apart from the group. Hold on, she cried. The four clung to each other as the sea roared around them. From the distance, they saw a familiar shape rising from the stormy water, the royal ship the Emerald Wave, with banners of Enchantia fluttering wildly in the wind. Sofia's heart leapt. That's my family's ship. They must be searching for me. Kai's expression darkened. The storm will crush them if we don't stop it. Lightning split the sky again, illuminating the ship. Sofia could just make out her stepfather, King Roland, and Queen Miranda on deck, calling to the sailors to hold fast. "We need to go up there," Sofia said firmly. Una hesitated. "But Sofia, you're still in mermaid form. If you try to climb aboard—" "I'll use my amulet," Sofia said. "It will let me walk again." She held the glowing gem, whispering softly, "Amulet of Avalor, bring me to the surface strong and safe." In a shimmer of lilac light, her tail transformed back into legs, wrapped in her sea blue dress. She took a deep breath and kicked upward, breaking through the stormy waves as rain poured down in sheets. "Sofia!" cried Queen Miranda, running to her as the sailors helped her aboard. "We were so worried." Sofia hugged her tightly. "I'm okay, but we don't have much time. The storm, it's magic. It came from a spell gone wrong under the sea." King Roland frowned. "A spell? Can it be stopped?" Sofia nodded. "Yes, but I need help, both from up here and down below." She turned to the waves, where Una, Cora, and Kai hovered near the surface, barely visible through the rain. "We'll have to work together," she called. Kai shouted back, "I can anchor the magic if you can weaken the storm's pull." Sofia turned to her father. "We can use the ship's crystals. They reflect light. Maybe if we focus them on the storm's heart, it'll calm the magic down." Roland nodded. "Then let's do it." As the sailors angled the mirrors and crystals in the ship's lanterns, Sofia climbed to the bow, her amulet glowing like a star. Lightning streaked across the sky again, but this time Sofia raised her hand, letting her amulet's light merge with the reflections from the ship. A soft lavender glow spread across the clouds, clashing with the wild magic above. The roaring storm began to tremble. Down below, Kai and the mermaids chanted a counterspell, weaving sea light and coral energy through the water. The magic from above and below met halfway, light and shadow swirling into harmony. And as Sofia called out, her voice full of heart and hope, the storm slowly began to fade, its fierce winds softening into misty rain. When the last lightning bolt flickered away, a rainbow stretched across the sea, a bridge between worlds. Sofia smiled, her hair damp but her spirit bright. "We did it! Together!" Kai surfaced beside her, exhausted but smiling. "You really are a princess of both worlds, Sofia." And though the sea had calmed, Sofia knew deep inside, the spellbook story wasn't over yet. Something still waited in the depths. The storm had finally quieted and the sea was still again, but Sofia couldn't shake the feeling that their journey wasn't over. The glow of her amulet still shimmered faintly, pulsing with a rhythm that seemed to echo from deep below the waves. As the royal ship turned back toward the coast, Sofia stood at the edge of the deck, gazing at the now calm water. Her reflection shimmered beside the faint glow of moonlight. Then she saw a familiar figure rise from the waves, Kai, the young sorcerer, his cloak dripping with seawater. "Sofia," he said softly, "the storm's gone, but the magic isn't finished. I can feel it still moving in the deep." Sofia nodded. "I felt it too. The spell isn't broken, only quiet." Una surfaced beside him, her pearl necklace shining faintly. "It's the spell book," she said. "The source of all this magic is still down there." Cora added, "It said that the old sea wizard hid his secrets in a temple, one built from coral and light, guarded by the ocean itself." Sofia's eyes widened. "Then that's where we have to go." Queen Miranda touched Sofia's shoulder. "Be careful, dear. The sea may look calm, but danger hides in still waters." Sofia smiled bravely. "I'll be careful, Mom, and I'll come back." She touched her amulet again, whispering softly, "Amulet of Avalor, let me swim once more." In a flash of soft lavender light, her legs transformed into a shimmering tail, and she dove back into the glowing water beside her friends. The sea welcomed her like an old friend, cool and endless. Together, The four of them swam toward the deep canyon, where Kai had first found the spellbook. The light grew dimmer, and the water thickened with ancient whispers, echoes of forgotten magic. At last, they reached a towering gate made of coral and shells, overgrown with seaweed. Strange runes shimmered faintly across its surface, glowing like moonlight trapped in stone. "This is it," Kai said, all filling his voice. "The Temple of the Sea Wizard." Sophia reached out and brushed her hand along one of the runes. Her amulet responded instantly, glowing brighter, resonating with the temple's magic. Una gasped, "Your amulet, it's reacting." Sophia nodded. It must be connected somehow. Maybe the Sea Wizard's power was linked to Avalor magic. As she touched another rune, the massive coral doors began to tremble. Bubbles burst from their edges, and a deep humming filled the water. Then, with a slow, majestic movement, the gates opened, revealing a hall filled with glowing crystal pillars, each one humming softly like a song. They swam inside, and the temple lit up around them, mosaics of mermaids, wizards, and sea creatures telling stories of balance and magic. Kai floated toward an altar at the center, where a book lay encased in a sphere of light. "That's it," he whispered. "The spell book of the tides." Sophia swam beside him. "Be careful. The last time you touched its magic, it caused chaos." He nodded, placing a hand on the sphere. "This time, I'll do it right, with your help." As his fingers brushed the light, the book slowly opened. Pages turned on their own, glowing symbols dancing across the water. Then a deep, gentle voice echoed to the temple, the voice of the Sea Wizard himself. "Who dares disturb the waters of balance?" The sea around them seemed to vibrate with power. The group froze, their hearts racing. Sophia raised her voice bravely. "My name is Princess Sofia of Enchantia. We mean no harm. We only wish to restore peace to the sea." The glowing figure of an old merman began to take shape before them, his long beard flowing like mist. His eyes were kind, but sorrowful. "The balance was broken," he said slowly, "because my spellbook was misused. The power I once guarded has been unleashed." Kai lowered his head. "It was my fault. I used your spells without understanding them." The Sea Wizard's expression softened. "Then perhaps you can make amends. The sea's heart, the pearl of harmony, lies hidden within this temple. It alone can restore what was lost, but it will only reveal itself to one who carries both land and sea within." Sophia's amulet glowed brighter, pulsing in time with the wizard's words. Una whispered, "Sophia, that's you." The wizard nodded slowly. "Yes, princess. The amulet chose you for a reason. Only your light can awaken the pearl." Sophia looked at her friends, her voice steady but full of wonder. "Then let's find it, for both our worlds." The wizard's form faded, leaving behind a soft trail of glowing bubbles leading deeper into the temple, toward a destiny only Sophia could fulfill. The glowing bubbles drifted slowly through the coral arches, lighting the path ahead like stars beneath the sea. Sophia, Una, Cora, and Kai followed in silence, their hearts pounding softly with anticipation. The deeper they swam, the more the water shimmered, as if it carried the heartbeat of the ocean itself. At last, the trail led them into a vast underwater chamber. At its center stood a magnificent coral pedestal shaped like a seashell, and upon it floated a single radiant pearl, glowing softly with hues of pink, blue, and gold. "The Pearl of Harmony," whispered Una, her voice filled with awe. It was more beautiful than Sophia had imagined, a perfect sphere of light, pulsing gently like it was alive. But as they swam closer, a current of energy pushed them back. The water shimmered, forming a translucent barrier that rippled with magic. Kai frowned. "It's protected by a seal, the Sea Wizard's final enchantment. Only one who's pure of heart can pass." Sophia's amulet glowed faintly, as if responding to his words. She placed her hand against the barrier, and light rippled outward. A voice echoed through the chamber, the same calm, ancient voice they had heard before. "Princess Sofia of Enchantia," said the Sea Wizard spirit. "To awaken the Pearl of Harmony, you must prove that you understand balance between courage and care, between the land and the sea." Sophia nodded bravely. "I'll do whatever it takes." The pearl brightened, and suddenly the chamber dissolved around her. She found herself floating in a vast, dreamlike ocean, completely alone. The waters shimmered like glass, and her reflection stared back at her, both mermaid and human at once. A whisper surrounded her. "What do you fight for, young princess? Power or peace?" Sofia took a deep breath. "I fight for both worlds, for harmony. The sea and the land need each other." The voice deepened. "Then prove it." The calm water darkened. From the shadows, shapes began to form. Dark waves crashing, thunder roaring in the same enchanted net she had seen before, swirling like serpents around her. Her amulet flickered weakly. She tried to swim, but the nets coiled around her, glowing with wild magic. "No!" she cried, struggling. "You're not real. You're fear, and I won't let fear win." She reached for her amulet, whispering the words her mother once told her. "Courage comes from kindness." The moment she spoke, her amulet glowed brighter, sending out waves of soft purple light. The nets dissolved into glittering dust, and the storm around her melted into calm blue. When the light faded, she was back in the chamber, surrounded by her friends. The barrier was gone, and the pearl of harmony floated before her, shining brilliantly. Una gasped. "You did it, Sofia. The barrier's gone." The pearl pulsed once, twice, and then drifted gently into Sofia's hands. It felt warm, alive, like the ocean's heartbeat resting in her palms. Kai's eyes widened. "It's choosing you." The sea wizard's voice echoed once more. "The balance of sea and land now rests within you. Use it wisely, for even light must be guided." The pearl rose into the air, merging with Sofia's amulet in a burst of shimmering light. The glow spread to the temple, washing away the last traces of dark magic. Sofia smiled through the radiance. "It's beautiful," but as the glow faded, the temple began to tremble. Cracks appeared in the coral walls. The ancient magic, released from its seal, was collapsing the temple around them. Cora shouted, "We have to leave now." They swam quickly through the collapsing halls as coral towers crumbled and bubbles burst like fireworks around them. Sofia led the way, her amulet shining like a beacon. When they finally reached the surface, the sun had begun to rise, painting the waves in gold and pink. The sea shimmered peacefully again, calm, alive, whole. Kai turned to Sofia, his voice filled with wonder. "You did it. You truly brought harmony." Sofia smiled warmly. "Not me, us. None of this would have happened without my friends." Una and Cora wrapped their fins around her in a joyful hug, and even Kai laughed for the first time in days. Far above, the clouds parted and a single beam of sunlight shone down upon them, a blessing from both land and sea. But as Sofia looked out toward the horizon, she noticed a faint shimmer beneath the waves, a sign that the magic wasn't gone forever, only waiting. "Every tide brings change," she whispered, "and I'll be ready for the next one." The morning sun shimmered across the ocean, casting ripples of light that danced like jewels upon the waves. Sofia floated near the surface, her amulet still glowing faintly with the soft radiance of the pearl of harmony. Around her, Una, Cora, and Kai watched as the sea glistened, calm and full of life once more. "The ocean feels different," Una whispered, "like it's breathing again." Sofia smiled. "It's at peace. The magic is balanced now." Kai nodded thoughtfully. "The sea wizard's temple will rest once more, but the bond between land and sea is stronger than before. Thanks to you, Sofia." Sofia shook her head gently. "Thanks to all of us. You taught me that every world, no matter how different, shares the same heart." They lingered for a moment in the golden light, the ocean quiet except for the gentle hum of the waves. Then Sofia looked toward the distant royal ship where her family waited. "I need to go home," she said softly, "but I'll never forget what we've done here." Una smiled warmly. "And we'll never forget you. Whenever the tides shimmer purple, we'll know you're thinking of us." Sofia giggled, her heart full. "I'll visit again, I promise." She placed a hand over her amulet. "Amulet of Avalor, take me back to land once more." A wave of soft lilac light surrounded her, and her shimmering tail transformed into a royal gown, its hem still glistening with drops of seawater that sparkled like pearls. She surfaced beside the ship, where sailors cried out in joy, "Princess Sofia, she's back!" Within moments, Queen Miranda and King Roland were at her side, helping her aboard. Miranda wrapped her arms around her daughter, her eyes shining with tears of relief. "Oh, Sofia, thank goodness you're safe." Sofia hugged her tightly. "I'm safe, Mom, and so is the ocean. We stopped the storm." King Roland looked out at the now peaceful sea. "It's a miracle the waters never looked so calm." Sofia smiled. "It wasn't a miracle, Dad. It was teamwork from both above and below." Miranda brushed Sofia's hair gently. "You've grown so much, my dear. Every adventure you take teaches you something new." Sofia nodded, gazing out over the horizon. "This time, I learned that true harmony means listening. To the waves, to friends, even to mistakes. Every voice matters." At that moment, a soft glow shimmered beneath the waves. The sea's surface rippled, and Una and Cora emerged one last time, their fins sparkling under the morning sun. They waved up at Sofia with bright smiles. "Goodbye, Princess Sofia," called Una. "Until the tides meet again," added Cora. Sofia waved back eagerly. "Goodbye, my friends. Thank you for everything." Then a familiar splash echoed nearby. Kai surfaced briefly, his expression calm but warm. "Take care, Sofia. The pearl of harmony is safe within your amulet now. If ever the sea grows restless again, it will call to you." Sofia nodded. "And I'll answer." With that, the three merfolk dug beneath the waves, their tails flashing like streaks of light. The ripples faded, leaving only the sun's reflection shimmering on the water's surface. Queen Miranda rested a hand on Sofia's shoulder. "You've made friends in every corner of the world, haven't you?" Sofia smiled softly. "Maybe that's what being a princess really means, helping every world find peace one heart at a time." The ship turned toward Enchantia, sails full and golden in the morning breeze. As Sofia looked back at the sea one last time, her amulet glowed, a soft, steady light that pulsed like the ocean's heartbeat. And somewhere beneath the waves, the sea wizard's gentle voice echoed faintly. "Balance has been restored through kindness and courage." The words lingered in Sofia's heart as the coastline of Enchantia came into view, her castle glimmering like a promise on the horizon. She smiled, holding her amulet close. "For every wave that rises, there's peace to follow," she whispered. "And I'll always be ready to protect both worlds, land and sea." The morning sun shone brighter. The waves whispered softly against the ship's hull, and the story of Sofia the First, Mermaid Rescue, came to a gentle, magical close, a tale of friendship, bravery, and a harmony that unites all hearts beneath one sky and one sea.